Watching News at Prime, let's get into this discussion now. There appears to be no end in sight to tensions between the National Prosecuting Authority and the Justice Department. City Press newspaper reporting that Minister Thembi Simelane may have stepped on the wrong toes by not wanting to extend the NPA boss Shamila Batoyi's term of office or that of her two deputies. NPA spokesperson is Advocate Mthunzi Maga, who's with us in studio tonight. Advocate Maga, good evening to you and thank you for your time.
Good evening, Xoli, and thanks for having us.
Let's start with Advocate Shamila Batoyi's status as head of prosecutions. Is she due to retire soon?
Soon she will reach a stipulated age in terms of the law when she has to vacate the office, because she would have finished her term of office.
And is there indication, at least at this early stage, because my understanding is that that retirement age will come around December. Are there indications right now that her service beyond retirement age may be extended?
One, let me first deal with the report in the City Press, which is quite disturbing because it's based on lies and rumors that are unfounded. Those reports are wrong because NDPP has never attempted to seek an extension of her contract or term of office beyond the stipulated age in law. Secondly, there has never been a conversation of that nature between the NDPP Advocate Shamila Batoyi and the Minister of Justice and Constitutional Development, as well as the President of the Republic. And thirdly, it would be legally impossible to do that because legally it's not permissible.
If there were attempts to extend her service beyond her retirement age, what role would the minister play here, if any?
That conversation does not exist solely because in terms of Corruption Watch versus the President of the Republic, that provision in the NPA Act was declared unconstitutional and invalid. And as such, when I said thirdly, it is legally impermissible to do so, I said that with that in mind. And as such, that conversation will never be had at all.
So once December comes, the understanding is that Advocate Shamila Batoyi ceases to be the head of Prosecutions Authority.
I'm not sure which December you're talking about, but what I'm saying is that at a stipulated age limited by the law, she will have to vacate the office.
That's age 65?
That is correct.
Is she due to turn 65 in December?
I'm not going to get into that conversation. That's too personal age, especially when it comes to ladies.
All right, let's talk about Advocate Paul Pretorius and Matthew Chaskalson.
Yes.
The understanding is that they are consulting for the National Prosecuting Authority. Firstly, their appointment, was it above board?
Xoli, let me first give you a bit of a background in terms of which legislation enabled their appointment. In the NPA Act, there is a section 38 which allows for NPA to seek services, prosecutorial services of private counsel that is outside of the permanently employed prosecutors within the NPA. Now, if you look at the state capture cases and other commercial crimes cases, complex ones, there are a lot of interlocutory applications that are brought in between the criminal prosecution. And those in nature are civil.
Yeah.
And in the NPA, we have rare skills when it comes to civil litigation. We then go outside of the NPA, invoking Section 38 to seek approval of the Minister of Justice to appoint private counsel with the necessary skills and expertise in those complex cases to strengthen the prosecutorial capacity. And when we do so, we always ensure that we pair them with the permanently employed prosecutors in order to upskill them, to transfer those skills so that in future we have a sustainable prosecutorial capacity within the NPA that would have been imparted by those private counsel that are appointed in terms of Section 38. Now, to answer your question, this has been ongoing since the inception of the NPA.
Yeah.
And every Minister of Justice who has a responsibility or final control over the NPA has had to sign those.
Yeah.
It's not only because it's Minister Thembi Simelane that those Section 38 appointments are being signed. Every Minister Lamula, Minister Jeff Radebe, Minister Bridget Malbandla, Minister Masuta, they have all had to sign the Section 38 appointments. They are above board.
These individuals that you call them Section 38 appointments, do they have access to sensitive information within the NPA, or are they limited in their access? And I'm asking you this question because there is the assertion in that article that these two individuals may not have received security clearance.
It is correct that there is no requirement for a top security clearance for private counsel appointed to do just the prosecution in specific cases, because they will not have access to classified information in terms of this SSA precincts.
These two individuals, there does appear to be disquiet. You would have heard the EFF in the recent past, suggesting that there may be some kind of conflict of interest, particularly on the part of Advocate Paul Pretorius, given his role as head of the investigative team in the Zondo Commission of Inquiry.
I would argue that assertion or that discomfort is misplaced, given the fact that we've interrogated that fact that they've been in the commission before, and they are therefore au fait with the issues that relate to scape catcher. Who is the best person then to assist in the prosecution of scape catcher than those people?
So Advocate Paul Pretorius is brought in specifically to help in that regard. Is that what you are telling us here tonight?
That's what I'm saying.
Okay. Then there is the other element that white professionals are preferred over their black counterparts. How do you respond to that claim that white lawyers are favored more in terms of getting work from the NPA versus their black counterparts?
You see, that also is misplaced. Fortunately, I'm Special Director heading civil litigation within the NPA. I then get to recommend counsel because of my position in addition to being a spokesperson. So I get to see where the briefs go. I get to see if the briefing pattern is skewed. I can make it clear to you now with authority, Paul, that in the state capture cases, in the commercial crimes cases, in general prosecutions as well, we have black counsel as well. We've got black counsel in the Zandile Gumede matter. We had black counsel in Estina matter. We have black counsel in Umhlatuze matter in KZN. We have black counsel in the public protector's criminal prosecution. So that assertion as well is misplaced because people argue only from an uninformed, emotional, and political perspective issues that are purely legal, that when you can just seek audience with us, we will explain to you with facts and show you proof that when it comes to briefing counsel, we brief people in terms of their competency. We are alive to transformation agenda. We are alive to equity as well. You will recall, even when we were taken to court by the Speaker, it was a black silk that we appointed there, and we won that court order.
Final one, or on the appointment of private lawyers by the prosecuting authority. How much are they paid? Because there seems to be difficulty there in accounting as to what Advocate Paul Pretorius and Matthew Chaskelson are paid.
There is always an engagement when it comes to tariff. There's a tariff set by the state attorney which we have to comply with. But there's also a tariff that each silk charges. And we get to negotiate because we say, look, you'll be involved in this case for a duration of the trial, which could take about 3 months, 6 months. And therefore, some counsel, you know, they are kind enough to say, if he charges, for example, a day 45,000, he would say, I'll charge you 37,000. If he's a senior junior charging 20,000 a day, he would say, maybe I'll take 17,000.
Final question to you, sir. And I beg for your complete honesty here. Is there bad blood between Advocate Shamila Batoyi and the political principal who oversees the work of the NPA, that is Minister Thembisi Melane?
I've made it clear in my opening remark that these reports, rumors, are fake news. They are unfounded and they are quite disturbing. There is a very good working relationship between the minister and Advocate Shamila Batoyi. Minister came and introduced herself. I think it was about a month ago on a Wednesday. I was part of that meeting. A number of issues were raised by the minister and the NDPP, and they sought to have ongoing engagements, as is expected. And those ongoing engagements are continuing. It was the same relationship that they had, or that she had, with Minister Ronald Lamula, who is the predecessor to Minister Simelane. So we don't know where those rumors of attention are coming from.